we are so excited for y'all to be here today. Thank you for braving this weather. So I was chatting with the first group that came in. People pay a lot of money for this kind of treatment at a spa. So you'll leave here with your pores opened and cleansed, and that's free of charge. So don't worry about that. We want to welcome you to Grace Klein Community. My name is Dondi Osborne. I'm the Director of Operations here, and we are so excited to let you know a little bit about what we do every day. You have some paperwork there that I'm not going to go over because you're very capable of reading it yourself and finding out about our group. Our mission can be summed up into 4 words: love, serve, share, repeat. That's what we do here. And our vision focuses on 3 main things: sharing resources in order to build relationships, thereby restoring individuals, families, and communities. Ultimately, we want to restore people in a relationship with the Lord. That is our goal, because He's the one that gives us everything that we have, and thereby that's what we share with. I have some numbers that I want to share with you. I wrote them down so I wouldn't get them confused. In 2010, when we shared our first food boxes, we shared 58 food boxes in 1 month. We were so excited to do that. Fast forward to 2015, we were sharing 238 boxes monthly. Go forward a little more. In 2020, before the pandemic, we were up to 493 boxes a month that we were sharing with people. That mainly we delivered to people who could not come and get food themselves. After the pandemic, right? Pandemic changed everything for everybody. In March of 2020, we gave out 2,420 food boxes to people. People with the grocery stores, people working from home, losing their jobs. There was a lot more gap and a lot more need. This year, God has allowed us to share an average of 17,000 food boxes per month. We have 136 food donors across the greater Birmingham area. This includes restaurants, bakeries, grocery stores, individuals. We rescue from luncheons, we rescue from church functions, and we're able to share all of this food with anyone who's food insecure. We have 161 food distribution partners that come here to this building and pick up food and take it into their community. We don't even have individuals that come here. Our individuals are served through our 8 drive-through locations across the greater Birmingham area. And we have 2 pop-up events. One is happening today at the Jefferson County Family Court. It takes the food into a food desert area where people who have no transportation, but a grocery store is not within a mile where they can walk. Those are defined as food deserts. So we take this food into the parking lot of Jefferson County Family Court. And we told them we're not going to do it unless we're able to pray with our recipients. Now they said, well, we can't pray with them. No, like, that's okay. We will, because we pray with every recipient that comes through our drive-through line. Now some of them decide they don't want to be prayed for, but guess what? We pray for them anyway as they drive off, right? So if they don't want to be prayed with, they're prayed for, because we don't force anybody to pray with us, right? So we give them the opportunity, and then if they don't want to, then we pray for them as they drive on. The relationship part is really the goal. That's what we're trying to get to. We operate 4 community homes, 2 of which have residents in. We have about 10 residents right now, where we build intentional relationships. We have Bible studies going on at different times of the day, different focuses, different themes, but it's all about community. We also have a diapers and wipes program where we supply diapers and wipes for moms who, especially with a formula shortage. We had a lot of formula we were able to share with our moms. We gather items for Christmas and school supplies. So we just finished our school supply drive, where we were donated over $11,000 in school supplies that we distributed among local students who got backpacks full of supplies, and they were able to start school without just a pencil and a notebook. They had things that their other friends had. How do we do this? We survive on volunteers. So far to date, we have 27,740 volunteer hours donated for this year alone. It is impossible for us to do what we do without our volunteers. So we have, sorry that we were
Okay.
Hey ladies, come on.
I guess this is the last week in the front row.
Oh, yeah, and you get to see them on it. There might be one in that category.
No. There's two back there.
I promise I'll try.
Traffic.
Oh, no.
Prepare for all that traffic.
Yeah. And then they're doing construction on Old Rocky Ridge, which has been a lovely challenge. But we've approached you ladies as a group with a request for funds to purchase another refrigerated truck and a van. And let me tell you a little bit about why we do that. Our greatest need, as you'll see today, is actually a facility. But there's not a way that we could have fit within the parameters of the requirements. So our next need is obviously transportation. We have rescued this year 1.07 million pounds of food so far in 2021. That's just over what we did the entirety of last year. So I can't wait to get the final numbers this year to see what we are able to do. A huge portion of that is rescued by volunteers who use our food rescue app. It's similar to a DoorDash app where you can see what's available for rescue, choose a rescue, and it has all the directions of where to go, where to pick it up, and where to bring it. They bring it here, they weigh it in. You'll see people coming and going all morning this morning, dropping off food, picking up food. It is a constant turntable of people coming in and out. So we're very excited to share that with you today. I think that's the gist of what we do. I'm going to ask a couple of our key volunteers. Zonia Waltman is a volunteer at our drive-thru. She is there, sometimes seems like 8 days a week that you're there at the drive-thru. And she's going to share a little bit about her experience there. Laura Pickens is a key volunteer. She and her husband donate countless hours to helping several different areas of our organization run. So I've asked them to share their perspective on where they are. I want to let you know, I started off, and most of our staff started off as volunteers with Grace Klein. I was a volunteer with Grace Klein for 3 years before I ever came on staff, and that just helps our staff to have a heart for this, right? Because if you'll serve and not be paid, then when you're actually part of the staff and the organization, you put your all into it. These ladies, not paid. They just do it because they love the mission and vision of Grace Klein, and they give it their all. So, Ms. Zonia?
Well, my job is the best one because I get to interact person to person with the people, and so I feel like I am the hands and feet of Jesus. And it has been absolutely amazing because I have been able to form relationships with the people that come through the line. And it's really neat to see because you learn each person that comes by, even though at times it's 100 people or more a day. But you can remember what's going on in their families or in themselves. And if you even ask, well, how's your husband? How did he come through his surgery? I mean, they just light up because they can't believe that somebody has taken time to ask about their family. So, there's so many stories too that I get to see being in the drive-through. I mostly do the computer type or enter the data. So you can have people come through. We had one lady came through and started crying. And so we asked her what was wrong. We thought we had done something wrong, and that's why she was crying. And this was during the time we had the storms that had so much damage. So we had put a roll of garbage bags in her box. And she started crying when she saw the bags. And so we asked her what was wrong. She said, I prayed last night that y'all would have garbage bags today. And you have them in my box. She said, so that's an answered prayer. And it's stories like that that just keeps you going. And you want to do it. It's not like you have to do it, but it's something that you want to do. And so if y'all ever want to volunteer, you're more than welcome to do. I'm 70-something years old, and I'm still going. It has given me a reason to get up in the mornings and do something. So that's all I can
Miss
tell you.
Zonia works circles around. For sure. Miss Laura?
Zonia's often at a lot of events like this. And
Yes,
different things
yes.
like that. I'm Laura Pickens, and my main thing, my husband and I prepare meals, little rectangular 28-ounce containers, and they're frozen at what we call the House on the Hill. And if we learn of a need for someone who maybe has had surgery and can't take care of themselves, or the husband's got dementia and the wife just needs some help. People who have had COVID, we can take food to their residence, leave it outside. I've done that at a hotel for somebody who had to go there while they quarantined. Our main focus is those meals. In 2021, Jim and I packaged 9,000 meals with mainly 95% rescue food from here. So that's my main deal. And so I don't get paid per se, but oh yeah, I get paid. It's such a blessing, and it's rewarding. As she said, it gives a purpose to life, especially in 2020 and 2021. It gave my husband and I something to do while we were wondering, what are we going to do? So it filled a lot of needs. I went to Kwatu. Grace Klein supports Kwatu Children's Home in Zambia, in Livingstone, Zambia. And they've been every year for 10 years except 1 year for COVID. And so I was blessed to be able to go this year and serve the community there, which was awesome. And we are selling products from there, souvenirs and bags and all kinds of things to help support that Kwatu.
That's an amazing story within itself. If we had time to go into that, the ladies there learned how to sew and made over 300 purses that you'll see hanging up in 1 year. Natalie gave them a challenge. Our Director of Development, Natalie Spronk, she's going to give you all a tour of our facility, but she inspired them basically to make bags. And our We Sew Love ladies, which is our sewing ministry, have been meeting with them via Zoom every week for well over a year, and that's how they learned to make these bags. And so they made them. When we went this summer, we brought a lot of them back. It's interesting, through airport security, they're asking, why do you have 150 bags in your backpack? And we have a lot of friends. There's a lot of gifts. So it was a very interesting trip. But what we're going to do now is half the group is going to go tour with Natalie. Half will stay here with Laura. Oh, let me ask.
Alright, so this used to be what we called the give and take room. We used to have this full of clothing for anybody who just wanted to be able to come in, look through clothing that they might need. They could bring clothing they didn't need anymore, and so it was basically like a clothing trade. But because we grew so quickly, we had to move the clothing out and then make this space for food. So this door right here, and you will see people coming in and out. It gives you the real understanding of what's going on. But this is called our Heroes Entrance. So volunteers, and I'm sorry I didn't get to hear what they, sure you're ready. So if you double hear it, just let me know. We already know that story. But volunteers will come in. We've given them access to the office. They just unlock it with their phones through an app. They come in and weigh the food that they've rescued from one of our partners, whether it's grocers or it could be Walmart, Trader Joe's, Panera. They'll weigh it over there. They can use the whiteboard to calculate if it's bread, sweets, whatever it might be. And the screen right here is actually displaying real time how much food we're getting in so that we know how much food we can give out. So this space right here is really cool. You'll see even distribution partners will come and meet here. This is like the main central hub for food support. They pick up food in bulk and then they go out to their areas of influence. I'm sure Dondi may have mentioned we are now covering 37 counties. In Alabama, we reached 40 counties last year, so that's how far the food is reaching. So when you see food over here, they're just staging it right now to be able to give it out to drive-through sites or to distribution partners who are giving out the food. This is Alina. She manages the office. She's amazing. Come here this way. Good morning. Say, hey, well, this is what we need you for. We want to know what you're passionate about and how we can plug you in specifically to what you love to do. So we get a lot of our frozen foods donated as well. These are the freezers it will go into. Again, we have volunteers who come in and help us weigh everything and put it up here. You see donut bins, we do get donuts as well. A lot of places, if they make it that morning, they want some of the next day. There's nothing wrong with that food. We get it and we're able to distribute it as well. This is the room. When we first started out, we used to build all of our food boxes in this room. One long table. Before COVID hit, I think we were serving about 300 families. I'm sure Donnie told you now we're at about, I think it's 19,000 a week right now, individuals. So it's pretty incredible what we can do from a small building. These are just our offices, and
These are some of the, this is some of the stuff from down.
Oh,
You want to tell?
the women make.
yeah, we have lots of different items there. It's been incredible.
The
just to
things
see
that,
those
the
things.
women made the purses, and, these are articles from.
This is also freezers and fridges. I wanted to show you this downstairs. In order for us to be able to distribute the food, we need boxes. And so Southern Organic said that they had several boxes for us recently. So we went ahead and grabbed these, so it just helps us with the food distribution. I'm not sure if we did put it on an application, but we are praying for a building. You can tell, we've way outgrown the space. We don't want to be shifting anything up in terms of construction-wise because, this place has been really catered to how we need it to work for the season that we've been in it. So when you think about us, pray for us. That's the biggest thing. Our
Does
team
it matter where, location, or do
We
you
would
have
love
a
to
target?
Yeah, we would love to stay in the Hoover area if we
Okay.
could. But we've been reaching out even to the Hoover, city mayor, just saying, hey, what is it that you can help us with in the area? Because a lot of our partners are just, it's central. It's easy for them just to come here to get the food, but if
The
God
Hoover
opens
mayor
up
is my uncle, so.
Come on, wow.
I almost sent him a text.
We really want to shift everything to one central location.
You build out here with them and you can text it to them.
This building,
You build out here.
this building actually belongs to the construction company. So we rent space from them and we basically taken over most of the space. So this actually doesn't belong to us. Hey, I'm so glad you got to know. We were just talking about us really needing space. So if you guys think of us, just to be able to pray for us for that. You can see, we really just have 3 rooms that we're using right now. And the amount of food that we're moving, we're having to move it out within 24 hours. The food cannot stay in here. We only have a certain amount of fridges and freezers. You can hear the trucks running right now. I don't know, that was definitely on our application, is the trucks are really important to us because it's a moving refrigerator freezer that we can use and we can keep running as well. Do you guys have any questions?
How many trucks do you currently have? Refrigerated trucks?
We already have 2 refrigerated trucks.
That's one of the things you want to grant for, no?
Yes. And so we did, I'm not sure if you guys know about this yet, but we have been in contact with some of the ladies just sharing that we had to go ahead and purchase one because we were helping with the sustainability team with the World Games. We needed to be able to move food, and so we went ahead and kind of did a pre-purchase there, and that is one of the trucks out there. So it's
So when you say truck, you're talking about this 18
Yes, you
wheeler.
can have a look.
Okay. Not a, okay.
They're big trucks.
Okay.
So this is the one right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've got since the last time we had a group come out.
Yeah.
This is what we've been praying for. And then the cargo van that we brought everybody in is the other item that we're trying to purchase as well, just so that we can help, especially with the food rescues. We have several going during the daytime. It's just not enough for us to only have a certain amount of vehicles to move all the food that we're moving.
Are y'all 7 days a week? Or 5 days?
We are giving out food 7 days a week now, and it's not just from the office. We have different drive-through sites. There's 8 drive-through sites. Some operate just on a Saturday, some are on a Sunday. The one closest by is a Monday through Thursday. So yeah, it's just different sites, but our office is open Monday through Friday for those distribution partners to come and pick up and take out.
What about the pickup?
All the time, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And what's been incredible is the universities have jumped on board as well. And so we have an app, which Dondi may have shared with you if you want to look it up. It's called app.feed download it onto your phone, and you can see which food rescues are available in your area. If you have an hour and you're like, oh, Panera wants to give Grace Klein food, I'll go pick it up. You just claim it, you bring it to the office. It'll tell you on the app what size vehicle you might need to be able to get it. If you need a box, if you need a cooler or something. So food is moving.
The app again?
Yes,
Sorry.
it's app.feed, BHM,
AF.feed, okay. BHM?
BHM, yeah. app.feedbhm.org.
Gotcha.
So the university students, if they need volunteer hours, they just log onto the app at 11 p.m. at night. Oh, there's a pickup. Let me go get it.
Oh, right.
So some of our volunteers are starting at 6 a.m. Some are ending at 11 p.m.
And when they pick that up at 11 p.m., where do they take it?
They bring it here. They also have an app on their phone.
So they get in the door like
Get
you
in
said.
the door, and
They do the weighing.
they do the weigh-in. We have training. We have training videos. It's very simple. Everything you can find via that website as well. But what we do encourage, a lot of these people are people who actually need the food. So for example, one of our food rescue heroes is a single mom, and we told her, you know, there's this opportunity every morning and it's breakfast items. So she goes and picks up the rescued food, she brings it to the office, and she'll grab a few things for her kids as well. So she's also getting food while also giving back to the community. So we want to make sure our people are cared for. Any other questions?
Well, I'll say I did a food rescue, but I mean, like, I would not want to come here, I'm sorry, at night and bring food. So if you do it during the day, y'all are usually here,
We're
and
here.
they help me weigh it, because I was like, oh gosh, I don't know if I can follow these instructions. But they were here during the day and helped me, and it was very, very easy. But there's a lot of places close by.
So in order to be a food, you need to do the app. I think that's where I'm like, how do you get the information? But it's all through
It's
the app.
all through the app.
This right
yes.
here.
So if you,
Gotcha.
it's easy. You
That
just look
tells
it
you
up.
What to do.
Yes. And you can just call us as well. We'd be happy to walk you through the whole process. It's very simple. But once you download the app and sign in, there's a, you know, this, just look, it says rescues. You can look it up, but feel free to call us. We do need food rescues.
The World Games.
So we were a part of the sustainability team, which means we rescued all the food from the World Games and were able to distribute it to people who needed it.
You rescue people.
Yes.
Okay.
But at the same time, they needed help with feeding all the volunteers. So we were doing both. Dondi has the stats on that, the lady outside, but I think it was, what, 13
31,000
meals moved around that we were able to feed people with. That food would have just gone to the landfill. And it's good, it was made that day. So, and the health department was out there making sure that everybody was doing everything fine, that it moved within a certain amount of time. So
Are you regulated by the health department?
we are not, because we don't do cooked meals.
Okay.
The only reason they did it there was because the meals were being cooked. We didn't cook them. One of our partners did. We just helped them.
I guess that didn't really work. You gotta prep it. Okay. Yeah.
So we actually, in terms of fresh produce, we have now started approaching farmers specifically.
Okay.
Instead of using like food banks in the area. So we really do want to focus on being able to fuel them and empower them as well.
Yeah.
But we haven't actually gotten like animals, except that gift of the pig.
Fruits.
We would do everything.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you see why we need a new building?
This was a house, and I'm not sure if they told you inside, but we also share this space with Grace Klein Construction. That is a for-profit business, which is where Grace Klein Community was born out of, that construction business. So they have two offices upstairs. We have the one community office upstairs. So we actually have 10 different off-site locations. My main workplace is from my home. Jenny's, Natalie, same way, just because there's not enough room for all of us to be
So
together.
are you looking for a building to be donated, or are you looking?
We'd take it.
Well, of course.
We are actively saving money to do that. We have,
Purchase.
yes, and that's what I
Whatever
share.
comes.
Whatever comes. So when we applied for the 100 Shares grant for a new refrigerated truck and a cargo van, at the beginning of this summer, we had our only refrigerated truck broke down right as the temperatures were going up over 100. So we got in touch with our contact at 100 Shares and asked about the possibility of us taking some of our money that we had put aside for the building and going ahead and purchase a refrigerated vehicle. The repair was going to take 3 to 4 months. And so summer would be almost over by then. And we wanted to be able to safely transport food during the hottest months of the year. So we were approved to go ahead and do that. So that's what we did. Laura's husband, Jim, who has connections in the trucking industry, was able to get us over $10,000 off of a good used refrigerator truck. So we went with it because we thought that was the best use of our money. We want to purchase another cargo van. As y'all can see, the cargo van is really useful for transporting people, but when it's not transporting people, the main thing it does, we take the seats out and we transport smaller loads of food so that we don't use the fuel for the larger trucks to go get the smaller loads and those things that don't need refrigeration, of course, we put in there. So that's the reason why we were looking for an additional
where would you
cargo van.
take that food? Like to your
Here
the cargo vans would go get the food and bring it in
and
here.
bring it here.
Everything has to be weighted.
Yes, we track every bit of rescue food that comes
Every
through.
bit of food comes
Yeah.
through.
Every bit of food comes through.
Weighed. And then it goes to a
And
different.
how does the food
like-
get to you? Like to the
I mean,
door?
there's food
Bring
in
it
there,
by
but it
either
didn't
by
look
the
like,
refrigerator
like,
truck.
where are the boxes
Most
that
of
are
the time
being
the
packed?
refrigerator
When does
truck.
all that happen?
So for
Or
our,
y'all just all cleaned up for us?
no, we have to keep it clean
chaos
or
going
else.
on.
If we don't keep it clean and orderly, we can be overrun really quickly. So the food comes in. Our food rescues are from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day, and volunteers have a code to get into the building, weigh it, and put it on there. And that's really great because if you have a morning person who wants to get one of those 6 a.m. rescues, but they can get that and bring it here. And then the food is taken. So Grace Klein Community operates 2 drive-thrus. Liberty Drive-Thru just down the hill operates Monday through Thursday from 1 to 4. So every day, food is loaded onto one of our vehicles and taken to Liberty Church. There, they sort the food out and pack it in boxes, take the boxes and put it in cars. So there's another drive-thru that we operate in Calera through Hope Mountain Church, and they do the same thing, except they also have a food pantry where people can go in and select items that they need. Man, they built some great relationships with those people because it's a lot of the same people coming back every
Can
day.
anybody come to the drive-thru? You have to sign up to get to the drive-thru. You just show up.
There are no requirements at all. We take information. We take zip code and name and
How many's in the family?
how many's in the family, so that we keep up with those statistics. Those statistics are needed for grants and things of that nature. Of course, if anyone refuses to answer, our average per family is 4. So if they're like, we don't want to tell you, we're like, that's fine. We put in, we ask for their zip code, not their whole address, but just the zip code. And there's no qualification process, which I think sets us apart from some of the other local food banks that require much more. And I see why. You want to be good stewards. But we feel like if you take the time to show up in a drive-thru to get food, you need food. It's not to us to say you qualify or don't qualify.
And is that where, Zona, you were talking about where you meet the people? Is that what you do?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
as they come through, you're able to interact, and
Yes, ma'am.
then you give them whatever the food they need.
Every
and-
single car that comes through Liberty Drive-Thru, Zonia talks to.
Okay.
Every single car.
Okay.
Yes. And then while they're talking to Zonia, giving the zip code and information, food is being loaded into their trunk or back seat or wherever they want it.
So the food based on, is it all the same or is all obviously just based on what you've got?
Right.
So somebody
Right.
at these locations is facilitating what this car, this family, like that's bread or canned goods.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a hot
Yes.
meal, or is
No.
it? Okay.
The boxes are pretty much the same.
All the boxes have the same amount. I mean, everybody has just the same
different
thing.
days.
So it's what, like
different day,
bread?
you know,
What would be in a box?
Bread, sweets, canned goods,
Okay.
snacks,
Okay.
and produce, fresh produce.
Meats if
And
we
hopefully
have
they-
it.
Yeah, meat if we have
And
it.
then
And
dairy.
then milk, if we have milk, we'll pass the milk. But a lot of times we don't have milk and we don't have the meat. So, but it all depends. I always tell them, if they complain, I say, we give you what the Lord has given us, and
That's
we're
right.
just passing it to you. And that sort of calms them down, because there's some people that expect
Yeah.
to get meat and milk every time they come.
And it's
through.
just that poverty mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of our volunteers and even our founder who have spent time in poverty. And so we understand, you know, you come and you might, it's not going to be there tomorrow in your mind. So, you know, we understand where that comes from.
So I have a question. I know Jenny well, and
Yes.
I know her heart, and so many of y'all, your heart is to share the love of Christ.
Yes.
But you have lots of volunteers. And Jenny has mentioned that some of your volunteers don't even necessarily know God yet. Is there any kind of training that, you know, for your volunteers? Do y'all train them into how to share the love of God, Christ? Because it comes easy for y'all, but maybe not so easy for the next person. How much is the gospel woven into your actual delivery of your food?
So all of our volunteers are encouraged to pray and talk with each and develop relationships with every person they deliver to. So we have some recipients who cannot come to the drive-thru. Either they don't have transportation, they have health problems that prevent them from coming. So we have volunteers who take those food boxes. They'll come through our drive-thru and pick up 4 or 5 food boxes and then deliver them to recipients. So we encourage them to develop relationships and pray with them. Our main focus of sharing the gospel is to love on people. You know, Christ, when asked about the 2 greatest commandments, both of them began with love. And we want to love people so much that they say, why? Why are you doing this? Sonia and Laura spend over 40 hours a week volunteering. And why? Why would anybody work a full-time job as a volunteer? Well, it's because Jesus loves them and they love others. So that's the way that we share the gospel, is through loving other people so well that they want to be a part of that and do. So volunteers that come here and don't know Jesus, they just see us hard at it every day. And they hear us. We have a prayer board inside. I don't know if Natalie opened up if you had time to open that up, but we put prayer needs there where, man, we prayed for, potatoes. Last year we prayed for potatoes. We had so many potatoes. We were giving them away for weeks and weeks and weeks.
She posted, who prayed for
Who
potatoes?
prayed for potatoes? We have a lot of things that happen that way, that God just answers prayers.
You know,
Would you say that the majority of as far as believers versus non-believers that are volunteers, I would say that the people who do the food rescue, there's a higher percentage of non-Christians
I believe
than
so,
the ones
too.
who deliver the food.
I believe our food rescue portion, because our app is like a DoorDash app, you can choose which rescue in which area at what time suits you the best. And it has all the instructions in the app on how to pick it up and where to deliver it, how to weigh it. That has invited in a lot of people who have a spirit of volunteerism, who may not know Jesus. But yeah, man, they'll, especially these younger people, they'll download an app and do that all day long. And they become involved in Grace Klein community. Most of the volunteers that we have delivering our food are people that we have had relationship with, and therefore we know their heart, and we know that they are really good at taking care of our recipients.
We don't necessarily go through the 4 spiritual laws whenever
Right.
we deliver a
Right.
and another thing too, being at the drive-thru with volunteers, which we're all there together, like from 11 to 1, we're all in the same room working. So I have gotten to see where actions speak louder than words. And the way we act, people will ask, well, why do you act that way? And why do you, and we have people from the Latter-day Saints that come and volunteer, and you'd be surprised the turn around, even though they're not allowed to leave their church. But they ask for Bible, our kind of Bible, not just their Bible. So it's just things like that. I don't think that words actually have to come out, but just the way you act and treat other people is a big thing to them. So actions speak really loud.
Right.
When you were speaking earlier about a box, I guess I had in mind like that was one meal, like like one meal per person. But like you're talking about a box that might feed someone or a family for a day or a couple days, or
Depends on what we have at the time. Ideally, we want to give them a box of food that lasts a week. But because our donations they fluctuate. God's taught us so much patience through the fluctuating donations. We share as much of a variety in the box as we can. And then we encourage people to maybe come back the next day or the day after to get more and to be able to last them longer. We don't put a cap on how many times they can come
How do you get communities or businesses to donate? Do you go and actively ask them? Like,
We do. We have a community liaison, Lisa Rip, who goes out and talks with businesses and develops partnerships. We actually have a business partnership program that's tiered, that puts, you saw some of the logos that's on our vehicles. Well, every business that's on that vehicle has donated either $5,000 cash or $10,000 in goods and services. So we want the businesses that invest in us to succeed. So we tag them on social media. We encourage them. Lisa and Annie take them flowers and snacks and just want to build that relationship. But yes, we will partner with anybody that God brings in our path. Oh, the barrels. Somebody asked about the barrels earlier. This is a great part of our business program. We clean up these barrels and wrap them with a Grace Klein logo and a QR code. And these barrels collect canned food most of the year. So you put this in a high traffic area. We have 2 that are in apartment buildings that compete with each other. The apartment buildings compete with each other. And they try to raise more food, collect more food than the other. Then during our school supply drive, they're changed to collect school supplies. That's how we collected over $11,000 in school supplies through the barrels. So you're a partner of Grace Klein. We support you in any way that we possibly can to encourage your business. What else?
we talked about the individual meals.
Oh,
that
yes.
My husband and I did. With y'all. Okay. So, yeah, that's separate. Yeah. But those
So
can
that's
go out.
specialized for maybe an elderly that can't get out, whatever the need that they,
Yes.
We deliver to a lot of COVID families still. Yeah, even now people contact us and we'll take a box and leave it on their porch, call them, let them know that we've left it, we pray with them, and
Are you
know,
all
encourage
over?
them.
I mean, I guess you probably are.
So-
So all over?
All over the city.
The city?
We're in 40-something counties.
This
Okay.
this
Wow.
year, well, yeah, last year
Last year
we touched
it.
40 counties with food. Now, some of that is, for example, we have a ministry that drives from Centerville every week to come here, and they minister to people in their community. But they come here and pick up food and take it back there. We have a ministry that comes from Huntsville, because she said there's nothing up there that they can go to that is like this. So she drives once a month at least, sometimes more often, to get food. So through that, we touched 40 counties last year. We're already at 36 this year. So I'm hoping that we beat our record for last year.
What is your greatest need, Birmingham City? Is that where you're
That's
servicing the most
where we're
right
servicing
now?
the most right
Yeah.
now, because just of our location.
Yeah.
And then our drive-through is run down there at Liberty Church. So Jefferson, Shelby County, we serve the majority of our people in those counties. Yes.
I have a question.
Sure.
Do you have another house that is off of Rocky Ridge in the neighborhood? Where you have the garden, you can water it on and water
House
it?
on the Hill.
House on the Hill. That's where Natalie lives.
Natalie lives at House on the Hill.
Off of Wisteria.
Okay. Last night if I can.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
just shared it with these ladies. So we do a Bible study on a Thursday night. The group is the 20s and 30s generation. We had a visitor come last night, and we are studying the book of Esther right now. We were doing chapter 6 and 7, and right at the end, we asked if we could, pray for anybody in the room. And this girl just broke down crying, and she said, "How do I know that God is real?" And we just got to truly minister to her heart. And I heard this morning how she was just like, "Wow, okay, I thought I had to experience Him in a certain way to know." And so we got to just share about faith and what faith looks like. And I was telling the other ladies too, it's, we don't just do this because of food. It's like food is the avenue. The houses are an avenue, but all of it is for the purpose of sharing Christ.
Absolutely.
And we get to do that every day. I hadn't even shared that with these ladies yet.
That's amazing. I'm so
So
excited.
sweet. I love it. Yeah. I'm going to see if I can secure the van.
Okay, that's fine. Yes.
Can we talk about other ways to serve?
Absolutely.
Okay, so whether or not we obtain the grant, there are ways. Each one of you maybe could help serve. We've got the sewing branch. Whether you sew or not, you can iron or sort or cut. And I run the Grace Klein Cooking Club. So if you want to join me and my husband and help him prepare meals, it's on the website. Give me a call. You can do that.
Where's the sewing done?
all over.
Four,
yeah.
5, 6 places. The
Yeah.
nearest one here is at Liberty Church.
Springdale
Dale,
Church,
Pawnee,
Tarrant.
Hoffman.
Huffman.
Huffman's a big one.
Yeah, so we have supporters for, as a matter of fact, Linda got a box of, a whole box of little dresses that someone in Connecticut made and sent to us. So it's really all over the place.
And they collect like jeans where the kids have torn out the knees, and then they turn them into ruffled jeans or skirts or whatever. They
it's
repurpose
amazing the things they
any T-shirts. I mean, they may just cut a sleeve out of one or ruffle or just a little
make
strip.
little dresses. And,
It's amazing. So there's that also.
yeah. Any way that you want to serve. Of course, on our website, GraceKleinCommunity.com, and then volunteer, is in there. So
And an individual
volunteer, or group. We have lots of groups that come and serve with us. Spire sends teams, Alabama
UAB.
Power sends teams. Oh, UAB, the intern program we have. How many interns do we have?
93 right now.
93 interns
It's grown so much.
that really pour into, they bring their young, fresh ideas and energy to the organization. We're very excited about that.
What do you do with the clothes that she was talking about making?
They turn it into other clothes.
Like dresses, there are children across Africa that wear these dresses.
The
you know how
homeless,
you-
they make hats
Yes.
and underwear for the men
And women.
and women. Yeah.
Oh, a big part of our to send to Africa is the
Sanitary.
the sanitary kits,
Yeah.
the menstrual kits that we make, because it's just it disrupts life for a lot of ladies that can't afford or don't have access
They
to.
miss a week of work.
Yeah, because they're just at home. So these kits help them to be able to be out and about. They're
Washable.
reusable, washable kits that they're able. So they turn a lot of T-shirts and things into those kind of. And they're very attractive
towels?
too. Yeah, towels. Yeah, it's not it's very high quality work, and I love seeing what they do with that, because I'm not talented when it comes to sewing. So it's really amazing to see other people use their giftings to minister to all the different parts of the
We also
community.
have a shoe ministry. Bring your shoes, and we'll do something with them. But that's another thing. Don't throw your shoes away. Bring them
Where
to
do you
us.
bring these things?
The shoes would be at House on the Hill.
All that.
If it's
Yeah.
convenient, I guess they take them here and
They
send
can
them.
bring it here.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fine to bring it here.
But any
But-
kind of shoes, as long as there's two
Shoes and
two
t-shirts.
shoes of the same brand, left
Same
and right.
time, yeah.
Because we do have some that just give us one shoe. You'd be surprised, but that's the truth. We have had that. So we like to get the pair.
I read the history that it was two business partners. Were their names Klein or Grace or how?
So you go ahead.
Yeah,
you're very well connected. She's the mama of Grace Klein.
Grace Klein comes from my two grandchildren. The oldest girl's name is Amelia Grace, and her younger brother is Denver Klein. So they use both of their middle names to name the construction company and the community.
And it means
What is it?
Little Gift of God.
Little Gift of God. And both of them together.
So
And
that's what we're
now
doing with the
these two
food.
children are at Sanford. They're
They just-
starting Sanford this year.
That's exciting.
Yep.
And they are as amazing as their grandmother and parents.
We're a little partial to them, for sure.
They're the same age, or they
No, ma'am. The boy is 16 years old and the girl is 18.
But
started in Sanford?
he started Sanford. He's 16, but he started Sanford this
Yeah.
year. Yes.
Wow.
He's going to change the world.
He
Yep,
is.
he is.
He is.
watch out.
He has a love for people.
Ma'am.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
I wanted to go back real quick on the internship program. About 3 years ago, we started just with one intern in the social work department. And the next year we also only had one, the next year we also only had one, until one of the universities called me and she said, I've never had anybody say that they really want to invest in our students as next generation leaders. And just seeing how God really moved on that program, we never know if the student coming to us knows Jesus. The same with regards to our volunteers or anybody serving with us or getting food. And so we treat everybody as if they don't know Jesus. And we had one specific intern who came to us just at the end. You know, they usually give a report based on what they do. And she said, I want to tell you that I've never been religious. And she said, I don't ever want to be religious, but I want to know who this Jesus is. So we have 93 right now. So be praying for us, because we don't want it just to be come in, serve, do what you need to do. It's we're about to shift the next generation.
Right.
If these students learn how to know Jesus and implement him in the workplace, I mean,
Funny thing is, we don't want to just be religious either. We want a relationship with Jesus and with people and outside of the walls of a church. We want to reach people
yes.
that way. So, any other questions?